Hey there guys, it's Ali here from My Empire, and thank you so much for coming back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys around one of my now finished BRR properties. This is a property that's actually located in Barnsley, and I sourced this property from an investor of ours who actually found us from a video just like this one. I sourced this property for the investor for £60,000 on auction. I'll be showing you guys around all the progress that we've made and what our £20,000 refurbishment has made this property become, and how this is a textbook BRR property for an investor. Let's go inside and take a look. So, coming into the property, as you guys can see, everything's been redone and it's come to a nice, beautiful, brand new finished standard. Nice and bright white walls, everything redone, new flooring, new central heating, new electrics, new skirting boards, new architrave, new plaster work around the property, everything done. Kitchen, bathroom, external board installation, getting the property's EPC to a C+, entire renovation carried out, new flat roofs fixed, ceilings fixed, everything redone, chimneys capped off, you name it, we have done it. Now, I just want to kind of go through and explain kind of how we guys do this, and how if you guys are trying to find your property for yourselves and do, how you guys can actually try to do a refurb like this. Now, firstly, I want to mention a refurb like this is not very common. Obviously, I've got my own construction company. We've done over 50 of these. We know how to do refurbs in a set budget. Now, doing a refurb like this, when we source a property for the investor, we give them a guaranteed fixed refurb figure and a fixed timescale. So I believe for this property, the exact fixed refurb figure was, I think, £19,650, plus a couple £100 for utility bills and gas bills, electricity bills and water bills and everything that we cover on top when we do the entire renovation. We've done this entire renovation at a guaranteed fixed price before we actually even saw the property, when I won the bid on auction for the investors, and we delivered on it within the timescale that we always do, on the guaranteed fixed timescale that we explained to them, within the 3 months. On this property, we're actually ahead of it by 1 day, or actually we delayed it by a day, just for the sake of the fact that we actually had to do a few extra things, which I'll get onto the property. But investors all happy. We just had the meeting on, everything amazing as always, and I could not be happier dealing with investors like this and just building a portfolio for these clients. Now, pretty much to explain, first thing that I'd like to mention, obviously coming onto property, is basically when we get these properties, first thing that I like to get done is get the draft EPC assessor into the property. So basically what that means is the EPC assessor comes in, takes an assessment report, measures up a few things, does what he needs to do, basically explains to us on the report, which is roughly about £60 to £80 on cost wise, pretty much what we need to do to get the properties to the EPC C+ standard. Now, what that kind of pretty much means sometimes, obviously new central heating, obviously new windows, this and that. Obviously we get the new central heating and all that stuff redone. In this instance, we didn't need any new windows or doors, as they were all double glazed, which is an amazing thing. And obviously we can get them in at a very cheap price, so we wouldn't have made the price of property refurbishment that much different. But regardless of that, something that we were supposed to do with this property is get some loft installation in the property. Now, basically on the report, he didn't actually say we needed external board installation walls. For those of you who pretty much know what I'm talking about, have watched my videos, is basically we pretty much always stick plasterboard with external board installation, which is pretty much a foam installation behind the plasterboard, to get a photo of what it looks like, onto the external walls which are facing the outside of the property. Now, pretty much the reason why we firstly didn't do it on this property was because of the EPC assessor said that these are double cavity walls, so it's not pretty much required for us to do that. Now, the investors obviously come by watching YouTube videos like this, and what I've come to realize is obviously investors that are watching videos like this certainly obviously expect us to get things like the external board installation on regardless, just for the sake of makes the property a lot warmer. If it's something that he wants to get done or investor wants to get done, we're not going to question it, and it's still within that fixed time scale and fixed budget. And that's the beauty of working with a company like mine, because not only do I source a property for you that is a flawless pretty much property. All the numbers make sense from top to bottom. That's purchase price, refurb, stamp duty, sourcing fee. And guess what? Sourcing for this entire property, I obviously break for the numbers, was only, I think, £1,265. That's right, I got paid £1,265 to find an amazing property like this and get it. And not only that, and obviously manage the process. And my construction company only took £20,000 to do the entire refurb from start to finish. Now, obviously, the whole plan is future growth of these investors. When an investor like this comes on board, we generally build a portfolio quite rapidly, quite amazingly. Obviously, we get it on the market, and obviously we get it onto the market and have it all rented, as the photos will be done very, very soon. Projected figure of, I believe, £695 per calendar month, which we may get more. Might stick out that figure. We'll see how it goes on. Let you guys know. But basically, projected rent of 695. Beautiful property. End values between that 95, 100, 105 figure. Refinancing this property, including refinancing fees, mortgage broker fees coming out on the exit, basically refinancing costs, and all these things that will be involved in tenant fine fees. The investor will be leaving in around that £20,000 pretty much into the property deal, and we'll be having cash flow of about £250, about a few £1,000s every single year, giving him an overall of a 14.5%, pretty much a 15% return on his cash invested, not counting capital growth. The investor, him and his partner, have obviously purchased this property and hopefully more to come. But regardless, I'll be showing you guys around everything from top to finish. So guys, coming into the kitchen, as you can see, amazingly redone. This kitchen we got from Howden's. Obviously, pretty much some things that we needed to do was new central heating around the property. So as you can see, we've obviously have the pipes being boxed off, because obviously the ground here was a solid concrete ground, so we couldn't excavate into the ground and get the central heating pipes done within our budget of £20,000. So obviously central heating pipes from downstairs have all been boxed off, but all around we've already sorted that out. And again, this is the beautiful kitchen that we always get as our standard signature for these properties. It does sometimes vary, but this is pretty much the kitchen, so don't hold me on that kitchen. We do sometimes get a different colour wave or different type of kitchen in. Sometimes even on a better property, we get something with a nicer hub and everything. Again, this is the relatively cheaper hub for these sort of cheaper properties that we get in. And again, as you can see, UPVC cladding on the back of here as our backsplash of the tiles, which is what pretty much helps us be in budget, because we don't overspend on things like tiles and so on and so forth. We really know what to do to get these refurbs done. Again, we're the only construction company that I believe can actually do that. I am yet to find another construction company that pretty much delivers what investors want. I mean, imagine buying property on auction, be like, great, bought it for 60 grand, I need to spend 20 grand on it, the comparables are 100 grand. Who's going to spend that 20 grand? You're going to bring over a builder and be like, this house needs to be redone for 20 grand. They will probably laugh at you. The thing is, we get it because we get what investors want. That's why I started with a construction company, because I realized you can't source a property for an investor and tell them refurb is going to be 20, because who's going to do the refurb for 20? They can't guarantee it for 20. An investment needs to be some fixed prices. It needs to be a fixed guarantee. They're only projecting the end value. They can pretty much do their numbers. It needs to be calculated. Why are you going to pretty much hold your mercy to a builder that can just skyrocket that 20 grand up to 25, 26, 27, 30, and your entire profit's wiped out? I get that stuff, and that's why, again, my company does what it's done, and it's been doing for, I think, over 4 years now. I've done over 50 of these projects, got multiple ongoing, and continue to do more. And I would love to show you guys exactly how I do these and how you guys can do the same things yourself, and you guys can source the properties yourself as well. So to be in budget, again, like I mentioned, stick on things like UPVC cladding all around, getting the kitchen in again, things like the vinyl flooring, beautiful carpets around. These are cheap carpets, between £5 to £6. Again, we've got underlay on these properties per square meter, that is. Again, we've got underlay on these carpets and everything, so obviously the floor is nice and soft and attractive for when people walk through and everything. Another thing to say, pretty much, all things like smoke alarms and this and that, all included in the fixed price, gas certificate bill, electric certificates, and everything, pretty much all the sign off for the 5 years and everything is all included in that £20,000 refurbishment budget, which is insane. I know, again, something like this property, we actually did a lot. Purchased this one on auction, so I hadn't actually seen the inside of the property. Obviously looked through the legal pack, I knew it was all good for me and the investors and everything, and was obviously happy to source it on. But pretty much the photos didn't show how bad the property actually was, because we had to fix an entire new flat roof, and all of the ceilings here were being come down and we redone them from top to bottom, which don't usually do. I mean, you expect to take down certain ceilings and refix a flat roof to a certain extent if it was leaking. But we are now in the middle room here, and one thing that I'd like to show you guys is obviously new electrics. So new electrics has been pulled through all across the property, so a bunch of new sockets, a bunch of new outlets, everything across. And again, a brand new fuse board and everything here with a 5-year installation certificate and everything all done. Coming into the bathroom, as you can see, it is looking, again, a lot different. This bathroom needed a hell of a lot of work. This entire ceiling, out. Rubbish, moldy shower, moldy everything. Everything was wet. The actual ceiling from the top floor, basically the actual main house's roof, had obviously issues with it. There was a flat roof leaking. Everything went into the second floor. Again, broke its way down, water, moisture all the way down into this floor, and all the ceiling needs to be redone. But again, here's a beautiful thing that I would like to mention. If you guys are trying to do a refurb like this, try to find a construction company that can do the whole thing as a fix basically the entire process. Not to pretty much get a plasterer, get a roofer, get a a joiner or whatever, just to outsource, get a just everything, like get a separate electrician, get separate gas guys in, this and that, because you can't do those things. For us, I mean, what is it? We're just taking down the roof. The guys are in, we've got to add some new plasterboards and stuff, get them all sorted, new joists, a couple bits of wood. It's not as complicated as people make it out to be. It's just when you start to pay a trade guy, when you start to pay trades that they come in and they're like, oh, one socket, that's £60 to install. Oh, another socket, that's £60 to install. I mean, we can't even class that. We don't even class it. I mean, the socket is part of the electrics. I mean, you can't be like, oh, this thing, oh, that's another this price. Oh, this thing, that's this price. Oh, we just done central heating, it needs to be boxed in. Got to pay somebody else to go box it in. Oh, we've just done this, now you need the thermostats. Oh, that's separate, you need to pay for it. Oh, you just done it, you need the CO2 monoxide. Oh, you've paid for it. And this is why you go with a company that's done so many of them, that you just know what the cost is going to be. Just tell the investors, this is what you're going to spend, this is the exact figure, these are the end values. It's a great deal. Are you happy with the numbers? Do you think the numbers are what it is? Are you happy with the comparables? So on and so forth. Are you in a position to move forward? Do you have cash ready? Whatever, as you always do, and we get the properties going and going and going. But again, the entire bathroom done, and to be in budget, things like this entire walls are all done as UPVC cladding, so nice and waterproof, moisture resistant. Water will just strip down everything, extract the fan will put in, and being done to an amazing standard all across. One thing I would like to mention, believe it or not, so obviously we had to get the shower tub changed and all the sinks and everything changed. But this toilet, believe it or not, is the same fucking toilet. I mean, this toilet, hell of a lot of scrubbing, hell of a lot of cleaning, but this is what I'm talking about. If you guys can actually have your staff there, or pay a labourer or whatever, just like kind of find the right team that can do that is willing to put in the elbow grease to, let's say, clean the toilet. Doesn't necessarily need changing to be in budget. Sanding down the door and repainting it doesn't need necessarily changing the door. Just a refurbishment company that just understands the end goal for an investor, because obviously we sourced it and we expect in return, we're expecting long-term growth and long-term business from these investors to be able to deliver multiple ongoing. Now, again, like I mentioned, I've got investors that I've now been dealing with and purchased multiple from, some large corporate investors, all sort of mixes, people within high income jobs, and basically these investors as well, they're in pretty much finance and construction game themselves. And again, something that we've come across that has been extremely amazing. Just before I head up, let me actually show you guys something like the garden. So as you can see, garden, what have we done with the garden? I'll explain. So this fence needed to be sorted. It was fallen over, so obviously we strengthened the fence and everything. So pretty much just to get that all sorted across. We've pretty much cleaned up the gutter there, or the drainage system there, to allow for the water to go in nicely. So there was a bunch of playing with shit and everything to just get that all gone. This entire garden pretty much just scraped up, brushed up and cleaned up and everything. Obviously we had a bunch of rubbish here when doing the entire process, and we had to get them all taken away with the vans and everything. We kept this garage here. The investor actually did question it if he wanted it gone and everything. It wasn't really part of our decision to get it gone, but we just ended up giving it a nice clean, and we think it'll be a nice good addition for whoever comes and rents it. They can just use this to potentially store their tools, or just do whatever they want. It's just a shed, they can literally, somebody put it here and it's a pretty damn good shed. So this one potentially most likely to stay. Just doesn't make sense to get it gone. There's plenty of space as it is. It's a patio garden across. So pretty much you can see central heating done. These are all the central heating stuff that's come out and everything. The flow that's come out, all of this stuff that's been redone and cemented and everything, and kind of taken care of. Just everything, just pretty much what you guys should be expecting if you're doing your entire refurb yourself. Now, doing a refurb, as you can see, the one thing that mainly looks different is that the whole walls are nicely and cleaned and plastered. So we actually obviously plastered the entire property where it was needed. Most of the ceilings were plastered. The entire walls were pretty much Artex walls and Artex ceilings and this and that. And it was obviously a lot of bags of plaster to get the walls thick enough to make it look nice and good. But again, this is something that you guys pretty much, should just take a look around. Just kind of, are the walls in a state that can you just kind of lightly skim over them, or does it really need to be heavily plastered? Because that is something to kind of look for. But if you've got your own team, or if you guys are going with a construction company that has just a fixed, pretty much, they can do everything, the team doesn't outsource it, they're just a one-hit, one-shop refurbishment team, then again, they don't mind, for them, an extra 2 or 3 bags is nothing, pretty much. And again, for you guys as well, it shouldn't be an issue at all. But again, everything redone, smoke alarm put in again on the second floors and everything. Coming upstairs, as you can see, looking completely different as well. So we had new electrics pulled through, so that's new sockets, a bunch of new sockets all added around just to get the room in regulation, everything, make it attractive for the tenants coming across. Again, window hasn't changed, window's the same, not really much to say about here. And front patio of the garden, beautiful area. I mean, my God, do I wish I had all this money myself instead of the investors to buy these houses. I mean, 60 grand house, entire refurbishment for 20 grand. I mean, houses here are renting out for like, £700 per month. The values are selling at 100, 110. I've just done another property, like 2 before this one, 44 Doncaster Road. You can probably even find it on YouTube videos or everything. Literally a few roads away from here at a much, much, much higher end value. I mean, these properties are solid, beautiful houses. They'll go up in value, they'll rent out. I mean, what more would an investor expect to get done from top to bottom? And not only that, it's all about the numbers. Given over a 15% return investment in under a year time. We've done this refurb in under 3 months. We got this property within a 56-day time scale. We purchased it literally as soon as we purchased it, refurb done within 3 months. It's going to be rented now. So this entire property will have cash flow coming in within only a few months. So the return on investment is over 15% because it's done under a year. I mean, you name it, we know this property is pretty much a machine that we're building, and we're just pretty much trying to build the best thing that we can for the longevity of ourselves and the investors. And so this property was actually a grow house, obviously you guys can see, and everything, so it was in the right state. So not only have we got a rubbish turned down property in an area that needs to be uplifted, made it nice and beautiful, we've obviously pretty much got a lovely, lovely home for the next tenants that will be coming in that can pretty much do whatever they want. So this is pretty much, a win-win-win-win-win in all situations, and it's pretty much exactly the only thing that you guys should be doing. It's the only way I believe in this world you can make money, when literally everybody wins. So coming across as well, as you can see, sockets have been put in, electrics and everything, outlets have been coming across, and coming in across to the back room. This was one of the main things. So I'll get a video of pretty much what it looked like with some photos, but pretty much the entire flat roof had to be fixed. Now, pretty much my construction company, pretty much get these in budget. The ways that we obviously do it is we don't go and get scaffold. It's not in the budget. In a £20,000 refurb, how are you going to go and spend £500 for a scaffold? So obviously we've got the ladders and everything, and we got this entire roof taken down, the entire ceiling taken down, new insulation boards put in, chipboard put across, asphalt, cement all across, heat gun and everything, and the entire ceiling redone. Now, this entire ceiling, again, as mentioned, we didn't actually realize it needed to be redone. It's that level. But obviously, when we give a guaranteed fixed price to an investor, there is no question. They don't care that I didn't realize or whatever. They don't care, whatever. They expect it to be done on a certain price. And that's exactly it. And I mean, we don't expect anything more. We know we're getting into, we know we've got another house. We're not going to be refurbishing the entire thing. Sometimes we make more money on a certain house ourselves. Sometimes we make a little bit less on a certain house ourselves. And it doesn't matter at all because it's a long-term growth. And when we're doing the refurbishment ourselves and we're doing it in such a short time scale, there is still plenty of money there, even in a £20,000 refurbishment. Because at the end of the day, what is it? You're paying staff day rates. If somebody's in there for a month, there's a day rate of, let's say, 3 grand a month, or 4 grand a month for staff bills and everything, plus about 10, 11 grand of materials, 10 grand labor, 10 grand materials. It's still definitely doable, but you just got to have the right people and the right team and the right connections and the right sort of mentality to get things done in the first place. Now, again, I have a lot of things to say. I get a lot of investors who have started the project themselves and this and that, and find me in the middle of things and say, "Oh, Ali, I've just found you in the middle of it. Obviously, I wish I found you before. Can you come and do this and do that part of the investment or whatever?" So I just want to get these videos as much as I can, just kind of explain doing things yourself. Try to get it done in a way that you're in a set refurbishment budget. Don't necessarily think that you can find somebody and give them a day rate and try to get it done cheaper and faster. Don't necessarily think that whatever quote you get first off is done and achievable. You just got to find the right person that is willing to put their heart into it to get it all done with pretty much what they have promised, and pretty much go over and abroad and expect and achieve for the investor. Now, one thing to again mention, the investors that asked us, for example, this property was kind of just re-cement things like this, just to prevent any water and stuff from coming down, which we've done. And again, things like this is pretty much like what I'm trying to explain. If you guys are trying to pay a separate laborer or separate staff or whatever, trying to outsource things, and you realize that needs to be sorted, or the investor comes and picks that out, and you've sourced property yourself for an investor, and you've got a construction company that you're trying to manage the process for the investor, and the investor comes and says, hey, do this, and you go and tell your construction company, do you think the construction company guy is going to be like, yeah, I'll do it for free for you, I'll do this for free as well, what else, you want this change? Yeah, I'll do it for free. You'll be like, yeah, £50, yeah, £60, yeah, this and that, this and that. That's what I'm trying to say. Really, really, really realize property investment can be very, very easy. It can be literally just figures, 10, 20, 30, 40. It can be really, really scalable. You can do a lot of things very, very easily. But the only thing that pretty much catches a lot of people out is the people aspect of things, because everybody's got their own different expectations. Somebody's expecting something, somebody's expecting something else, and it all just comes down to having realistic expectations and understanding what needs to be done. And with property investment, it's pretty simple. House is rubbish, needs to be fixed up, needs new central heating, needs new gas, needs a kitchen, needs a bathroom, needs to be able to achieve a certain high end value figure when we refinance and sale, and needs to achieve a certain high rental figure as well, and needs to last a pretty good time and have general upkeep and maintenance of the property done. Pretty simple in my opinion, but people make it to be a lot harder, so it is what it is. Now, something like this, a cupboard door, whatever, just a normal door, cut in half, whatever, made as a door for the access that was up into the loft as well. And what a little bit of vinyl on here, just the walls to be redone here that we painted here. I don't even think we plastered inside of here, but literally just all redone and pretty much ready for the tenants and everything. And yeah, this is pretty much it. One thing again, as you can see, all the skirting boards, all the architraves, all brand new and everything changed. Obviously, we haven't changed things like the frame. So as you can see, filler on the old stuff that have been redone. We've resanded it to the best that it obviously can be redone. And the new hinges, obviously a new door, but pretty much this frame. I mean, it is pretty good. Obviously, once it's been sanded and everything, obviously it's not going to be a perfect property, because obviously we haven't taken away the frames and put a new frame and so on and so forth. But for a 20 grand refurb, this is it. For a property that the end value is £100,000, these are the expectations, because this property going on the market, all the other houses are complete rubbish in the area. Nothing looks like this, nothing can compare to it. Somebody comes in, they're like, wow, this is redone. I would love to rent this property out if the rental figures are all good and everything, and get that taken as well. One other thing to mention, things like this, we just cut that off. The investor came in, just random pop up in the middle. This investor actually has seen this property now for the third time. One time when we got the property, one of the investors out of the two came out and saw this property, one time in the middle, and right now just pretty much finishing the property. We've just come over to kind of just get it all done and everything. One thing to mention, the gutters on this property, these are actually wooden gutters, and we thought we could actually repair the gutters as it was. The gutter had so much issues with the wood or rotted away that we're going to change them to plastic UPVC gutters. So that's still not done, but that will get redone. Now pretty much investors come through. We've explained what needs to be done, but it doesn't affect anything in terms of the rental side, sales side and everything. And again, I'm doing it for free. And what I mean by free, it means that obviously my team expects to do the house from the inside, top to bottom. Things like gardens are obviously always extra. We're going to clean the garden, we're going to brush the garden, we're going to make it acceptable, make it tidy. But obviously we can never do so much. Now again, we could obviously redo the entire roof, but the roof is pretty good. Obviously, a thing like a gutter, obviously what does the investor want? He just wants it to be reliable. It needs to be changed. Is it really part of that £20,000 number that I throw out when we're doing the calculations to make the deal stack? No, not really. Am I going to end up doing it? Yeah, but what is the cost? It's just a ladder. It's maybe my time when I come in here to see the agent, getting the gutter fitted and everything. It's not a problem whatsoever, and we do this all day long, all the time for investors, multiple ongoing. Literally after this video, I'm going to set off to another project that I've got ongoing, so guys look forward to that other video. I'm going to apologize for not posting too much, and again, sorry about that. As you guys know, I've been very busy. I run an entire construction company, I run a sourcing business, I deal with investors, deal with solicitors, accountants, lawyers, you name it, all in part of my team. We're doing all these things for my investors and everything, and apologies for that, but I will definitely get on it and upload much more videos. I know a lot of you guys want to know how I'm actually sourcing these property deals. So what I'm actually going to do is not only, obviously, guys, if you guys are looking for BRR property deals and properties like this for me to be able to source for you guys, for my entire construction company to be able to do the entire refurbishment, if you are looking for that, fill out your details on my website on the contact site, www.airmanpowder.co.uk. There's a link in the description for that. So again, fill out your details on my website, get in contact, I'll source your property just like this. I don't get paid until the property completes and exchanges in your name. We don't even get paid the entire refurbishment until it's done. Like this property, there's still like a £4 grand invoice outstanding. Everything's redone, everything's done, get the invoice sent, we get paid. We do it in stages for the investor, but that they're always happy. I mean, there's so much trust there when an investor is dealing with a company like ours. Obviously, they've got that long-term growth to build their portfolio and everything. And yeah, pretty much. Anyway, touching on from that, I know a lot of you guys want us to be able to, or want me to be able to kind of show you guys how I'm sourcing these property deals. So a lot of you guys actually want me to break through how I find these property deals and all the numbers and how I'm actually coming across and sourcing these deals. Now, if you guys are interested on that, hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up button, because I'm going to be posting videos on that very, very soon. Pretty much all the secrets that I've got, that are how I get these properties, because I don't even really care. I mean, you guys can know how I find these properties. Anybody can find these properties. It's not as complicated as you think. What I've come to realize is complicated is, obviously, it looks good on paper, X amount purchase price, X amount refurb, X amount end value. Obviously, you can fine tune these things, and obviously there's so many things that you learn each time that you can get them secured quick, this and that, and obviously how to deal with it. But it just comes down to be able to deliver on pretty much what your projected outgoing is, and being reasonable with all the numbers, and being great in terms of finding comparables and doing your research like a detective and everything. Just pretty much delivering all those things that you need to do. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you found this video informative and enjoyable in any way. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Most importantly, if you're an investor that is looking to build your portfolio, you've got, say, around about 100 grand cash in the bank. You guys are thinking about, what will be the next steps. You want to get into property. You want to know there's a guy or there's a construction company and there's a team there to be able to deliver on everything, take care of the entire refurb, completely hands-off from top to bottom, and has been doing it for many, many years. Just fill out your details down below. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys. You guys can come and see my ongoing projects, speak with my investors, do whatever you guys need to do and satisfy yourselves if you're basically the right fit to work together. And thank you for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.